Hey guys, so today's video is another makeup tutorial in my little Fenty series that I'm doing. I'll leave my last two tutorials linked down below, but basically I'm doing a makeup tutorial in each one of the plush matte oh my god, my brain. The Mademoiselle Fenty Beauty lipsticks that Rihanna came out with. I don't know why I can't talk. Like every video, right? I use the shade Up to No Good, which is of course my favorite shade other than Candy Venom. I do love that one, but this is like, I love nudes. These are like my favorite lipsticks ever. I am obsessed with them. I love the brand itself, like everything from the brand, but these are like my standout favorite product. If you guys have not swatched these, you seriously have to go to Sephora and swatch them. They're so matte yet so hydrating. Like they have a really matte finish, but they're just so creamy and hydrating on the lips. They don't like dry or gross, and like you can wear them all day, and I don't know how to describe it, but I just really like them. I am wearing a shirt, by the way. I tried to zoom out more for you guys so you could see that I'm wearing a shirt. I'm not naked. Today I wanted to do something more on like the neutral side because I don't know how it happened, but my last two looks that I did for this series came out so similar, and I just wanted to like gouge my eyes out or like shut my head in the freezer or something. I was so like angry with myself when I realized, and I didn't realize until I finished editing the footage of my last one that I did. I don't really know what happened. Apparently I really like that kind of cut crease. So today I tried to do something a little bit different, and I wanted to do it more neutral, like warm earthy toned kind of browns. And I've been wanting to do this kind of cut crease halo eye effect for a really long time now because two people that I follow and I have so much like makeup inspiration I'm such a fangirl of, Makeup with Jar, who's actually a good friend of mine. She is the sweetest human ever and so talented. And then of course Brooke Elle. You guys know I'm obsessed with Brooke Elle. I think she is incredible. They do looks like this really often, so they were like my inspos for this video. I will leave them linked down below so you can check them out. I definitely recommend it. This is going to be a voiceover, which I feel really bad about because I hate doing voiceovers these days. I rather just like, you know, tell you guys what I'm doing as I'm doing it, but it just felt like with my headspace at the moment, I feel like I suck at makeup, and I just really needed to like get back in the zone, use some colors that I love working with, and just like enjoy creating this tutorial because I filmed so many tutorials lately that I just keep deleting and you guys never see them. This is me recentering my brain, my crazy, chaotic, neurotic brain. Hopefully you guys like this video. If you do, please give it a big thumbs up. Let me know any other videos that you would like to see down below, or any other like makeup tutorials or anything like that. I do have tons of cool videos coming for you guys. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and check out my Instagram. It's just the same as my YouTube name. It's just Kasey Rayton. It's just my name. And yeah, if you guys want to see how I created this look, then please keep watching. Alrighty guys, so we're starting off with my base. First going in with the Tarte Brighter Days Moisturizer. I think it's a moisturizer. I'm not too sure if it's a moisturizer or a primer, but they're all kind of the same anyway. But this creates like a really nice illuminating base. I'm just obsessed with this stuff. So I did go in with quite a fair bit of this, and I just rubbed it into my skin just so we're nice and hydrated. And then I actually went in with my Fenty Pro Filter Primer. I think that's what this one's called. I can't remember the name exactly, but I really like this. I use this on days where I'm not wearing any makeup as well, because I feel like it just kind of mattifies my skin and just, I don't know, it just makes it look really nice. So I'm kind of just focusing this in the areas that I have a little bit larger pores, and then I'm kind of spreading it out around the rest of my face. And then going in with the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Foundation. I'm using the shade 190, I think. Actually no, maybe I'm using 240. I'm not too sure. I'll leave it in the description box down below because I have two shades that I kind of alternate between. I'm thinking this is the darker one because it did turn out quite yellow this day. I usually match my foundation to my body, but I had just freshly fake tanned, so my tan is kind of like a little bit more red when I first do it, and then I end up looking like a Simpson for the rest of the week. So I didn't really have any foundations that matched me perfectly, and yeah, you guys can see on my face that I'm like, oh shit, this does not match, but I made it work. Surprisingly, I didn't look like too much of a floating head, but I really like this foundation. It's very matte, so if you guys are dry, you might not love it, or you could try it with like an oil underneath your foundation to kind of make it a little bit more luminous. I'm then going in with concealer to erase last night's mistakes of staying up until 2 AM watching the OC. will just, it's like it never happened. This will just erase it. This is the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer, and I believe it's in the shade Vanilla. So what I like to do is just apply it underneath my eyes and leave it to sit while I go in with my cream contour. This is the Bondi Bay contour stick from Nude Sticks. I'm like obsessed with this. This is probably like my favorite contouring product at the moment. It's just like, it's the perfect combination of warm and cool tones. It's like not too orange, but it's not cool toned by any means. It's just, I don't know, I really love it. I really like a warm toned kind of contoury bronze. I don't even really contour, it's just kind of an overall bronze. And I'm using this Sigma brush. I can't remember the name of it. I went and looked in my beauty room to see if I could find it for you guys, but I have no idea what I've done with it. It's just like, it's an angled fluffy brush. It's really nice for applying cream contour because it just diffuses it really beautifully. So I will leave that linked, I'm stuttering so much. I'll leave it linked in the description box for you guys so you can check it out if you want to. But then I'm just going back to my concealer, blending it out with that Morphe sponge. The reason I like to leave it sitting underneath my eyes while I do my cream contour is just because it kind of starts to dry a little bit and it gets a little bit more full coverage, and you know, just hides our mistakes a little bit better. I'm then going in with the iconic London illuminator drops. These are the original ones, and I'm just applying them with my finger to the high points of my face, and then I'm just going back in with that same sponge. I believe this is a Morphe sponge. It's like my favorite one at the moment, and I'm just, you know, tapping that into the skin to give me that glow like Jennifer Lowe. We're then moving on and setting my under eyes. I'm using the Laura Mercier this is a secret brightening powder underneath my under eyes. I like it because it's super finely milled, but it is a very white powder. So I feel like if you use too much, you might get flashback, but I haven't really experienced that before. So yeah, just setting underneath my eyes and my eyelids. And then I'm going in and setting the rest of my face with the translucent brightening powder. What am I saying? Everything will be linked in the description box, guys. I'm sorry, I'm a mess. And all the brushes that I'm using are from Sigma. You guys can use my code. It's just Kasey Rayton for 10% off. That's an affiliate code, so you know, if you want to use it, use it. If you don't, you don't. Here I'm just bronzing up my face again. I'm using my Tarte Park Avenue Princess bronzer. This is the matte one, and I believe this is the F10 brush from Sigma, which is like one of my all over face faves. And yeah, I'm just kind of, you know, adding a little bit more bronze and warmth and depth to my skin. This was how I made my foundation color work for me. I just kind of used a lot of bronzer and everything kind of melted together nicely. And then I'm going in with the Benefit Dandelion highlight. I believe that's what this is called. I feel like I can't remember what anything is called today, but I'm just going in with this Sigma fan brush and applying that to the high points of my face. This is a really beautiful highlight. It's definitely not an in-your-face kind of highlight. It's definitely more natural, but that's kind of what I'm preferring at the moment, and I just think it's so stunning. It doesn't come out as pink as it looks in the box. Then jumping in with a little bit of blush and finishing off the face. This is the Tarte Sensual blush. One of my favorites because it's like a nice peach pink kind of mix. I usually just reach for like the same kind of toned blushes. And I'm using my F10 brush from Sigma. Like I said, it's just one of my favorite face brushes. It's like great for powder, bronzer, blush, you know, the whole 9 yards. Then we're jumping in with the Jaclyn Hill palette, and I'm taking the shade MFEO on my Sigma E44 brush, and I'm just packing this into the crease, and then I'm going in with a clean brush. This is the E40 from Sigma, and I'm just going to start blending that out. So basically I just go back in and do this a few times, packing on with the first brush. Oh my god, I'm stuttering. And then going back in with the second one and just blending everything out, making sure it's nice and seamless. And then I'm going in and doing my lower lash line Sigma E32 brush just to pack this on, and then I'm going back in with the E44 and blending that out. I'm then jumping in with the shade Puder on my E32 brush, and I'm just packing this into the crease of my eye and the inner and outer corners. So we're just kind of mapping where we want this halo cut crease to sit. And then I'm jumping in with the shade Roxanne, I think it is, on my E44 brush, the same one that we used before. So we're kind of just using all the same sort of brushes for this look. And then I'm going in and blending that out with the E38. So basically we're popping Puder down and then blending out with Roxanne and a clean brush. And then I'm doing the same thing with the lower lash line, but to blend I'm using my E36 brush. So I will leave all my brushes listed on the screen for you guys so you can follow along, and they will all be linked down below. But then I'm basically doing the exact same thing with the shade Central Park, and I'm using that E36 brush to blend that out a little bit more precisely into the crease. And then I'm using a little bit of the shade Mocha as well. So essentially what I'm doing is kind of just mixing all these shades together and just building up a little bit of depth and creating my own kind of brown color combination. You guys know the drill. And then we are going in with a little bit of black on this teeny tiny little brush. This is the E21. I wanted this to be more precisely in the crease area. That way when we do the cut crease, we kind of have a really defined sort of look. And then I just added a little bit of this onto the inner and outer corners of the eye as well and blended them out. And then I just kind of took a mix of all those brown shades that we did use earlier on and just kind of helped to blend out that black, because I didn't want to have it like too black, but I did just want a little bit more depth. There's probably an easier way to create a look like this, but I'm just not very great at blending, and I haven't really attempted something like this before. So, you know, I kind of just went with the motions and did what I thought was working out okay. But if you guys have an easier way to do it, definitely do that. Then I'm going in with the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. I'm using the lightest shade that I own, just because I really want a stark, bright kind of spotlight cut crease thing happening. Basically, I'm going in with my E68 brush and I'm just creating a really sharp line where my crease meets my lid. My crease meets my lid, I don't know if that makes sense. And then I'm going in with my E30 brush from Sigma just to blend out the edges. So we want the edges diffused and the crease really sharp. So it's kind of like a cut crease meets a halo eye. And I used the shade, I think it's in Light, just to lightly set my lid before I went back in with a mix of the brown shades on that pencil brush just to diffuse the edges. So the shade that I used on the lid is a shimmery shade, but it doesn't really show up too shimmery. I just used it because sometimes a matte eyeshadow for a look like this can kind of just look a little bit patchy and weird. So I didn't really want like a shimmery look to it, but I didn't want it to be flat either. So it still creates a little bit of dimension while still giving off the illusion of being matte. And then I went in with the shade Beam on the inner corners. Maybe I used Beam on the lid as well. I can't really remember, but either one of those two shades works perfectly. And that is pretty much that for the eyes. And then going in and just adding a little bit of mascara to my lower lashes. I believe this is the, is that Marc Jacobs? I think that's the Marc Jacobs Velvet Noir mascara, which is one of my favorites. And it just makes your lashes so chunky and long. And then I'm going in with a nude lip liner. This one is from Kat Von D, and surprise, surprise, I cannot remember the name for the life of me because I suck. So I will leave it listed down below for you guys. But yeah, I'm just creating myself some new lips, going 10 times outside of the lines, and I love it. I live for it. And then to finish this look off, I'm going in with the Fenty Mademoiselle lipstick in the shade Up to No Good. I love this shade. It's such a gorgeous peachy nude. You guys know I love like a peachy nude. And this is one of my installments for my little Fenty beauty series, using all the Mademoiselle shades to create a makeup tutorial. So that basically concludes this look, you guys. I really hope that you like how it turned out. If you do, definitely give it a big thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in my next video. Just subscribe to one of my thing. Just like play around the Jesus Christ. Oh my god, that sounds so bad. Boom, what am I saying? Stupid. Stupid. Fuck, I just want to punch myself in the face.